Sometimes the future doesn't show up in some big, flashy announcement. Nope, sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, in just a few words. And today, we're going to unpack a phrase that points to a massive shift in a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and we're doing it all based on just 4 little words.
And this is it. This is literally all we've got to work with for today's deep dive. AI Realtor Revolution Google Ecosystem. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But what is it actually saying? The best way to think about it is like a puzzle. Each word is a piece, and our job, together, is to click them into place and see what picture emerges.
All right, so let's get into it. We're not going to treat this title like it's a fact, like it's something that already exists. Instead, we're going to look at it like it's a blueprint for what could be just around the corner. We're going to take it apart piece by piece.
So this is really the core question we're trying to answer. What happens when you take these 3 absolute giants, the brainpower of AI, the sheer financial scale of real estate, and the unbelievable data reach of a platform like Google's, and you just smash them all together? What comes out the other side?
Okay, let's tackle that first piece of our puzzle, the AI Realtor. The name itself is kind of funny, right? It's a mashup of the super futuristic and the super traditional. So what really happens when you inject one of the oldest professions on Earth with some of the most advanced technology we've ever created?
Let's really dig into that for a second. Your first thought might be, oh, it's just a chatbot. But trust me, what we're talking about goes so much deeper. To really get it, we first have to be crystal clear on what AI even means in this whole scenario.
See, the key words on this slide are human intelligence. We're not talking about a fancy calculator or a simple program. We're talking about building systems that can learn on their own, that can reason through problems and find solutions. Now, once you apply that kind of power to the world of real estate, well, that's when things get really interesting.
And here's where the rubber really meets the road. I mean, just think about it. An agent that literally works around the clock 24/7 and never, ever misses a single lead. An agent that uses predictive analytics to tell you the exact day to list your house to get the absolute highest price. For buyers, it means getting property recommendations so perfectly tailored, it's like the system knows you better than you know yourself. And let's talk about the money. Automating all that tedious paperwork and staging homes virtually, that could slash transaction costs, saving buyers and sellers thousands, maybe even tens of thousands in fees. This isn't just about making things easier, it's about completely rewriting the financial rulebook of buying and selling a home.
So all those things we just talked about, they lead us right to our next big word, revolution. Because a tool that powerful isn't just a minor upgrade, is it? No way. It's pointing to something way more disruptive. But what's the real difference between a simple little change and a full-blown revolution?
And this chart says it all, really. Look, an evolution is like a slightly better software for realtors to use. It's an improvement. But a revolution, which is what our title is screaming, that's a total disruption. It doesn't just make the old way of doing things a little bit better, it completely replaces it with something new. We're talking about a fast, system-wide shift in the entire industry. Which brings us to the final, and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle, the Google ecosystem. Because look, an AI realtor on its own is a cool idea. But an AI realtor plugged into one of the biggest data collection machines in human history, well, that is the kind of thing that could actually spark a revolution.
Before we even get into Google's specific tools, we got to understand this concept. A tech ecosystem isn't just a random pile of products. It's a web, a network where every single part makes all the other parts smarter and more powerful. The most important word here? Seamlessly. Data just flows between all these services, creating something that is way more powerful than just its individual parts.
And this is where your jaw should drop a little. Get this. Google Search knows you're thinking about moving before you've even told anyone. Google Maps knows every detail about a neighborhood, down to commute times and coffee shops. Your Nest thermostat gives clues about a home's energy use. And imagine autonomous cars from Waymo just taking you on property tours on demand. Every single piece of data is valuable on its own. But when you pour it all together and have Google's AI chew on it, you get a picture of the property and the buyer that is just shockingly detailed. That's the rocket fuel for this AI realtor.
Okay, so we've taken apart the AI Realtor, we've figured out what a revolution would really look like here, and we've seen the incredible power of the Google ecosystem. So now, let's put it all back together. Let's synthesize this and see the big picture.
And there it is, laid out perfectly. It all starts with that super smart AI agent, built to be as efficient as possible. Then, that efficiency becomes so powerful, so game-changing, that it kicks off a market revolution, completely upending the industry.
And what's the engine making it all run? The deep, seamless, powerful integration with Google's massive data ecosystem.
And that, right there, is the most important thing to take away from all this. The real magic isn't just the AI itself, it's the system. Think about it. An AI that knows what you search for, where you drive every day, how warm you like your house, and what your budget is. That's not just a realtor anymore. That's a predictive, deeply personal real estate concierge.
So we end up right back where we started, with this huge idea. As all this tech comes together, we have to ask ourselves a pretty wild question. Are we heading toward a future where one of the biggest decisions of our lives, buying a home, isn't handled by a person at all, but by a massive, all-knowing, interconnected ecosystem? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for digging into this with me today.